Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mike the intern, back in the studio on a Monday morning. Did you win any money after the race on Saturday?
I did not. My horse lost, so did I.
You know anyone that did win any money on that?
Yeah, of course, at the party I was attending, there were, one winner.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, good for them. Not good for you. So, what's next after that thrilling race?
Well, we have the Preakness coming up, and that is in 2 weeks. Preakness is at Pimlico in Baltimore, and Mystic Dan, which won the Kentucky Derby by a whisker, and that's almost literally the case over Sierra Leone, will be racing in that one. Now, the Preakness Stakes is a whole lot smaller field than the Kentucky Derby. I had 21 horses, and the Kentucky Derby had an extra spot in there, and that's really kind of unprecedented in a way. It's usually 20. But they'll have about 8 or 9, or maybe even 10 horses in the Preakness Stakes. But that's the second of the Triple Crown races. Belmont Stakes is the third. But if that race is anywhere near what the Kentucky Derby was, hey, it would be a thriller. I'll tell you, the Derby may have been, I don't know whether there's any way to prove this, but it may have been the closest in history. That was just, it took the mirror and the photos to come up with the winner.
It's so crazy, though. We had a little event with the Springfield Police Officers Association Foundation Saturday, and it was really great. A lot of people showed up and everything. But it was just, a lot of mingling, and then all of a sudden I heard someone say, "Oh, the race is about to start," and then it's over.
Fastest 2 minutes in history.
It's crazy how much money is won and lost in 2 minutes. Another great thing happening this week, rookie minicamp for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, it's next Monday. It begins Monday after Mother's Day, and the rookies will be there. Now, there has been a preliminary camp going on, which is, I don't really think mandatory by Andy Reid, but they like to have some of the newcomers. The 13th, May 13th, is mandatory. Now, it can go on for 7 weeks. That doesn't mean they're drilling every day, but the length of period for the NFL is 7 weeks with this rookie camp. Now, there was one, this is minor because I think it's nothing more than a tweak, but Xavier Worthy had to leave early on, I think it was on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, had to limp out of camp with a leg injury of some sort, but they didn't seem to feel, they being the Chiefs, that it was very serious at all. But, hey, anything can happen when you're out there, and injuries are part of the game.
Just not injuries to that fast young
Not
kid.
your number one draft choice, come on.
Man, come on. I just started here. What about the pro side of things in the NBA and NHL?
Very limited schedule yesterday. Only one game in the NBA, and that was the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic. The Magic have a really, I think, an up-and-coming team. Had a big lead, 21 points over the Cavaliers at one time, but the Cavs came back to win it, 106-94. So next up for Cleveland, the Boston Celtics.
Good luck.
The NHL, there were 2 games, the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Rangers won that opener 4-3. The other one was a Game 7, Las Vegas and Dallas. And the defending Stanley Cup champion, Las Vegas Golden Knights, are out of it.
Seems like it's kind of been a repeating theme for the Cardinals over the last few years. They have some great hitting going on, no pitching. Then their pitchers start pitching and throwing lights out. No hitting. We're in the same boat right now, aren't we?
Brilliant prediction on my part. I thought the Cardinals would sweep the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are really bad. They came into the series in St. Louis, 6 wins, 26 losses. That is horrendous. It's the worst in the major leagues. And the Cardinals turn around and lose 2 out of 3 to this team. How on earth? Well, the Saturday game was, this is kind of interesting because it was into extra innings, and it was 6-5. The Chicago White Sox led in the top of the 10th. They brought in that ghost runner, and he came around to score. Then a 3-hour rain delay. Come out, there's 1 out. The Cardinals have the bases loaded. Actually, had the bases loaded, nobody out. After the rain halted things, there was 1 out. Come in, took 39 seconds for the game to end, and the White Sox won that one 6-5. Yesterday, the White Sox win at 5-1. Cardinals hitting is just not there at all. They're really struggling. They're not all that bad a team, but my goodness sake, when you lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, who now have a total of 8 wins for the season, and the Cardinals are, I think, 15-20, somewhere around there. They're just not playing well. They play the New York Mets coming up, and that will be tonight. Royals They dropped one in 10 innings to the Texas Rangers 3-2, and the Springfield Cardinals got rained out in Tulsa. What a surprise.
Yeah. Royals, though, I like that series a little bit because they came out swinging and won the first one, but then that second game, it was like Rangers let us remind you who we are. Yesterday was a little bit more, I think, indicative of how they are as teams, and going extra innings with a team like that, even though they lost, still gives me a little bit more faith in Kansas City than St. Louis right now.
Kansas City is a good team.
They're playing together.
Not a championship team, but they are a good team.
Yeah, and they're a lot more fun to watch, and at least they're giving us a season to root for. What about the local college teams?
Well, I did 2 games for the Bears on Friday night, doubleheader. They've scheduled a doubleheader on Friday night and to eliminate Sunday's game because of the chancy weather conditions. So the Bears turn around and lose the opener 6-4 to Murray State, come back and win the second game 16-4. That's typical Missouri State. When they get on a tear, they had 7 home runs. 7 home runs for the doubleheader. Yesterday, or actually Saturday, Bears had a 9-6 lead, Mike, going into the 9th inning, and lose the game 12-11. They're like the Cardinals. They do not have any kind of stopper on the pitcher's mound. They just can't seem to get things done. They are still clinging to 8th place. That's important because the 8 teams make the playoffs. The other 2, the bottom teams, which are now Valparaiso and Bradley, they are out of it. But the Bears are clinging to that hope. They still have 6 more conference games remaining, including 3 coming up next weekend. They've got to play better. They simply have to play better.
Then really, in all honesty, they need to win pretty much out to maintain where they are.
I don't think that's literally the case, but they dealt doggone well better for their own benefit.
Have more dubs than L's. That's what I'm hearing.
I'll tell you a little bit about Drury here real quickly, too, because they lost 3 out of 4 to Southwest Baptist in Bolivar. That's one of the poorest teams in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, and Drury loses 3 out of 4. But Drury is into the playoffs. Those playoffs for Drury begin on Wednesday of this week in Marion, Illinois, and Drury's first-round opponent will be William Jewell.
Well, good luck to them. You think they may have been looking forward till Wednesday instead of that game in Bolivar?
I wonder.
Yeah,
because
there's
really
too.
no way that Drury should have lost those. So maybe, I just don't know.
It does happen in baseball, though, so you never know. We had also a little bit of racing happening down in Florida, the Grand Prix. Some of the guys from the Chiefs were down there, weren't they?
Mahomes and Kelsey were both down there at actually it's Hard Rock Stadium. That's where the Autodrome, and that's what they call it in Miami. They come up with all these fancy names. But this is for Formula One. Mm-hmm. And Formula One, of course, is more on the international circuit. Donald Trump was there. They had over 200,000 people for this event. But I'm interested why Kelsey and Mahomes go, because there's a NASCAR race in Kansas City. And go to that. They go to the Formula One race because I'm sure they were paid to go down there.
I was just getting ready to answer it for you.
Anyway, a guy from Belgium by the name of Lando Norris is the winner of the Grand Prix in Miami. And up in Kansas City at the Kansas Speedway, Kyle Larson, leading much of the way, holds off Chris Buescher down the stretch. And this race was delayed for quite a while because of rain. But they still got it in. NASCAR was determined to get it in, and they did. And Kyle Larson's the winner.
I love it. All the NASCAR guys, we're not staying in Kansas City one more day. We're getting this race finished. Ned, you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.